Here's a number that should make you angry: $80,000. That's what a loaded new heavy-duty truck costs today, and after 23 years turning wrenches, I'll tell you where most of that money went. Into screens, sensors, and an emission system that'll cost you 5 figures the day it fails. Meanwhile, there are 3 trucks that roll through my shop doing the exact same work, running past 300,000 miles and selling for pocket change. Because nobody wants them. Not because they're bad. In fact, all 3 run fleet-grade engines, the kind built to a durability standard, not a price point. Because of a badge or a fuel bill or a bad reputation the engine never earned, everybody's out chasing the same few cool used trucks and bidding them into the sky, while these 3 sit ignored on the lot. And the last one I'll show you has the single biggest engine the factory ever put in a pickup. A motor they retired and legally can't build again. One thing scared everybody off it. That one thing is exactly why you can buy it for next to nothing today. Stay for that. These aren't collector trucks. They're working trucks hiding in plain sight, and once you see why they're cheap, you can't unsee it. Let's start with number 3, the truck people love to hate. Number 3 is the Nissan Titan with the 5.6-liter V8, built 2004 to 2015. A regular of mine, Reggie, drives a 2008 he bought used and beaten for $6,000. He tows a landscaping trailer with it 6 days a week. It's at 240,000 miles, and I've never done more than brakes and fluids on it. The stigma is simple, and it's snobbery. It's a Nissan. It's not a real truck. Here's what those guys don't know. That 5.6 V8 was built in Tennessee, and it's the exact same engine Nissan dropped into the Infiniti QX56, a $70,000 luxury SUV, and into the Nissan Patrol, the truck they sell overseas to cross deserts. Same bulletproof bottom end, whether it's wearing a work truck badge or a luxury one. People pay a fortune for that engine in an Infiniti and won't touch it in a Titan. Their loss is your bargain. Think about it. The same block of doctor babies in a luxury SUV, Reggie beats on with a loaded trailer every single day. And neither one blinks. The engineering doesn't care what badge is bolted to the grill. The one thing to check before you buy, these snap exhaust manifold studs as they age. You'll hear a light ticking that sounds like a lifter, but is really an exhaust leak. It's a known, fixable job, not a deal breaker. It's your bargaining chip. Otherwise, the motor routinely clears 250,000 to 300,000 miles. A clean Titan runs $6,000 to $12,000. A full-size V8 truck for compact car money purely because of the badge on the tailgate. But if you want to talk real capability, number 2 is the one everybody skips at the gas pump. Number 2 is the Ford F-250 Super Duty with the 6.8-liter Triton V10, the same engine Ford also dropped in the F-350. And you want the 2005 or newer one. A customer named Gary bought his 2006 F-250 V10 off a man who, in his words, couldn't afford to feed it. Gary tows a fifth-wheel camper all summer long. He's passed 220,000 miles, and it has never once stranded him. The stigma here is the fuel gauge. This thing drinks. But look at where else this engine lives. The 6.8 V10 is the motor under a huge share of America's motorhomes, ambulances, and shuttle buses. When a paramedic's rig or a 40-foot Winnebago absolutely has to start and run loaded all day, this is the gas engine they trust. Ford built over 750,000 of them. It's a fleet engine, a commercial workhorse that just happens to come in a pickup. Now the buy check, and it's all about the year. On the 2005 and up trucks, Ford fixed the early spark plug problem and bumped it to 362 horsepower. That's the one you hunt for. Listen for that same ticking exhaust stud noise, and know these sip a little oil, so check it often. That's the whole list. And here's a tip most people miss. The best-kept V10s came out of motorhomes and fleets, babied, barely revved, serviced on schedule. A V10 that spent its life under a low-mileage camper is a nearly new engine wearing an old truck's price tag. A solid V10 runs $8,000 to $14,000, and it's cheap for exactly one reason. Nobody wants the fuel bill, which means you're buying a nearly indestructible tow rig at a discount everyone else is too scared to take. But it's still not the king. Number one is the biggest and the most ignored of them all. Number one is the 2001 to 2006 Chevrolet Silverado 2500 HD with the 8.1-liter Vortec. And if you know engines, you already know what that is. That's a big block. My customer Sal, a concrete man, has hauled loaded trailers with his 2004 Chevy every working day for 18 years. He's at 290,000 miles on the original engine. His exact words, "It's the only thing I've owned that laughs at the load." The stigma is the same as number two, only worse. This is the thirstiest gas truck on the list, single digits when you're towing, and when it was new, everybody walked right past it to buy the Duramax diesel parked next to it on the lot, even though the very same big block was hauling medium-duty trucks and motorhomes in daily fleet service without complaint. So, GM built plenty, and almost nobody wanted them. That is the whole opportunity. Here's the buy check, and it's good news. The engine is the last thing you need to worry about. This is a cast iron big block that makes its power down low and never strains itself. So you're not inspecting the motor, you're inspecting the truck around it. Look hard at the frame and the brake lines for rust, and make sure the transmission shifts clean, because that's what wears first. Find a rust-free one, and the drivetrain will flat out last you. A clean 8.1 runs $9,000 to $16,000. Real heavy-duty capability for the price of a used commuter car. Again, only because of the fuel bill. You'll find them sitting on lots for months because that fuel number scares the tire kickers off before they ever drive one, which means you can walk up and negotiate hard on a truck that's barely been worked. And here's the part almost nobody realizes. The reason this one is worth hunting down. That 8.1 isn't just some V8, it's the last big block General Motors ever built. The end of a bloodline that runs straight back to the muscle car Chevy 455. The very same engine marinized powered boats as the Mercruiser 496, and it hauled motorhomes for years after the trucks were gone. Chevy built it in the same Buffalo factory that had been turning out big blocks for half a century, and then, in one stroke, that was the end of the line. GM killed it for one reason only. It drank too much fuel for the government's economy rules, and they were never allowed to build another one. So when you buy one of these, you're not buying an old work truck. You're buying the last American big block ever made, hiding in the one truck everybody else was too cheap to fill up.